Hey, what's up, all you fellow traders out there on the internet? I hope you guys had a great weekend and you had a great start to today. Now, here in the U.S., today was a federal holiday. Um, Depending on what side of the fence you're on, you're either celebrating Columbus Day or Indigenous People Day. But all in all, it was a federal day. The banks were closed, but our market was hot and popping. Now, I thought and I had a feeling that okay, overnight futures market should be pretty good, but when the market opens, the New York market opens, probably wouldn't see much, but I was wrong. That's why we don't let our biases, take over our mindset, and we come in every day with an open mind, ready to trade what the market gives us. So I'm gonna talk about a couple of trades that we had today. Actually, they're trades that my mentees took while during our shadow session, and kind of share a couple things with you on that, and then we'll call it a video. The message today, and this I shouldn't even have to elaborate on this, but excuses plus shortcut equals a failing trader. Okay, bottom line, I I don't care who you are. There's nothing that you can say to me that making excuses for yourself and trying to find shortcuts don't equal a failing trader. Because you may get away with it up front, but eventually it's going to catch up to you on the back end. And when it does, you probably don't want to be standing under a piano because it will definitely fall on you. Okay, a lot of times you hear, it's hard for me to be successful at trading because blank. I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough capital, or this or that, or whatever. I know you've heard this before. I know you probably said it to yourself before. Um, know, every single one of us will make some excuse at some point. Okay, it's gonna happen. It's just part of who we are. We make excuses really to avoid pain, to avoid not feeling bad about ourselves or a decision we made, or to not look bad in front of others. You know, we don't want to we don't want to accept that. But if we want to build an amazing trading career, which everybody can do, we have to stop making excuses, stop trying to find shortcuts, and just execute the same way, every time. We need to execute at a high level. You know, just making excuses because, we don't want to feel the pain. It it just doesn't. It's gonna hold you back. So what we have to do is stop making excuses for ourselves and start succeeding. If we stop looking for these shortcuts, we will be successful. There's just no doubt about that. So I don't think I have to elaborate any further. You guys know already, what needs to be done. So let's take a look at the first trade. Um, the first session last night. Here is The opening 5 minute candle. This is the. I wish they would do this so that they can put the time on the bottom. But this is the 5 minute opening candle last night at 6 o'clock. Pretty candle. And what that told me is, hey, this market can give us some really good moves in this overnight session. And sure enough, it did. So what we did was, and there are two different ways we can trade this. We can be aggressive and buy when it breaks the opening range high. We wait for and bounce. Now, for me, it is on the trader. Now, the trader I'm working with now, he's practically brand new. You know, we don't want him to try and be an aggressive trader right out of the gate. So we try to work on patience. Let it break through, let it pull back, let it retest this level, and confirm that we are bouncing off. And that's our conservative entry, and that's what that was. We bought, actually took profit along the way, came back and took it off as we were back, bought it again, took profit, it came back and stopped us out. Then we shorted and took some profit. Now, sometimes the whole order doesn't fill at one price. So these kind of fill through different prices. These two, like this one we filled, and then here was the final. And that was that. The reason why we took it off so soon is because he's trading with Trade Day. And Trade Day has a 30% consistency rule. So he has a $2,000 target. A 2,000. Oh shit, I can't remember. Whatever it was, he couldn't get over 600. 600 was the max he was going for. So he got the 594. He had to kill it. I'm thinking, and we're gonna talk about this here in a minute, because we get on in about another 45 minutes for tonight's session. I'm thinking he's calculating it wrong. I'm thinking he's calculating this off of the $2,000. I think he's calculating it off of the $2,000 drawdown versus the $3,000 profit target. I'm thinking he can go to 900, but that's why we stopped. He shut it down because he's saying 600, and I didn't want to get into it with him until I actually looked at it and verified what he was talking about. And we're going to do that before we even get started tonight. But the point that what I wanted to show you was the setup that we took. And sometimes it is difficult to wait in order and get in. And you look at this and you're like, look, if I just anticipated, I would have more profit. That's the wrong idea. That's the wrong thought process. What you want to do is the high probability of a winning trade, and that's the way you have to trade it. And so we actually logged off after only maybe an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes because it already hit his target, and we were done. Okay, then I had a session. He gave me everything on here. We had a later session, and this one he's trading with Take Profit Trader. So he's got a 25K account, and so they have a 50% a 50% consistency, and so he had to shut it down before he went over 750, or else his profit target would get. But here, you can see we bought the bounce here. Now, I don't like doing this, but it's something that he feels comfortable with and what he wanted to do. This guy's been trading for a little while, and he likes doing this. So we got in, got profit here, got stopped out at break even, and then after that, he just waited until, when I get in, what I like to get in. So here we bounced, we pull back, and this is where I would have gotten in. Now remember, we've already traded this. Here, this is the perfect entry. Took profit here. Didn't quite get to my profit target here. It pulled back. I bailed out, and here I went to buy it again. Or I would say we went to buy it again, because we're kind of taking the same trades. We bought it again, and it kind of pulled back. Now, I expect this. If we're trying to buy it, we're being a little aggressive here. We're trying to buy it after this big pullback. Well, it hasn't hit support yet. Okay, it hasn't hit support yet. So whenever you do this, what is likely to happen is it's going to pull back. It may go up and allow you to get some profit before it pulls back, but it didn't do that this time. It actually just came and pulled back. We had a flash, and as it came back up, I added. So what we like to see, hey, this thing tested down here. It got bought up really quick. So we just added here. We both went ahead and added here. And profit went up, took profit up here again. And guess what? Had to take it off because it had reached the 50% of the 1500, just under 50%. So we had to stop. And just that quick, we were done. And I'm doing this because a couple said, I shared with you the journey after the week. When the week was over, you got to see how much the trader made and all of that stuff. You wanted to see, okay, show me what you do daily. So I'm going to take you through every day this week. I'm hoping I have enough time to do this. We trade every day this week so that you can see the progress. That's the idea, is to kind of see the progress. Now, the last one is going to be, and this one's plain. He didn't give me anything, which I wish he did. But this is a trader that 2 weeks ago earned his pro accounts. And today, he started back over after he withdrew last week. And, he basically traded the same trade I took. And you would think so because we kind of worked together for a while. And I took it probably around the same place. I might have got a little better. But he knows if it's going to pull back the support. If it pulls back, it's going to pull back the support. If you lose the support, the trade is dead. Okay? So a lot of traders get spooked out lose money here, and then try to short it. And then it goes, and then you get stopped because you're holding it, hoping that it's going to fail here. There's a lot of this stuff happens. And as I work with traders, I get to see that they develop about this later. Buyers come in and cause you to do things that you normally won't do and that you're already educated on not doing. But because that sneaks in the back door and catches you with pants down, you end up taking bad trades. So here we didn't get out and, took profit a couple of places here. And excuse me, and closed out the trade. And here, he went to buy this on the bounce off of this level. Now here's what he did wrong. He anticipated this. He anticipated it was going to bounce just like it had done here. He anticipated it was going to bounce. But what's the major support into the trade? The 5-minute opening range. And look, you see it held up here, it held here, it pulled, held again. So no need to get out. If you weren't all in, you could have added and but look, bam. Great. Pull back, tried to catch the bounce here. It didn't follow through, got stopped out. And in somewhere. Oh, sorry. So up here, after he got out, he and shorted it here, cut it here. And this is where he shorted again, right in here. Held the big pop. Honestly, that was the wrong thing to do, but it worked out for him. He made probably $1,500 on this. I wish he had shared everything, but he didn't. But really nice trades, and these are the type trades that we go over. And you're not in this by yourself, because a lot of times these trades don't turn out positive because you let moves against you affect your thinking, or you have a bias. The stock has gone up too much or gone down too far, and you don't think it can go, and so you stick with a counter trade, even though the chart is telling you no. So that's kind of what we did. Couple of the traders that I work with is kind of what they did today. And you guys, again, if you're struggling, if you can't seem to piece it together, the shadow mentoring that I came up with, we're together up to 3 hours in a trading session, and you are sharing your screen. We're going through your trades. We're talking about what's happening, what should keep you in, what shouldn't, spook you out, when you should change and take profit versus trying to wait for it to hit your target. There's a lot of things that we go over, and that I can't teach you on a dead chart. I have to teach you when it's live. The best way to learn is while you're doing it, while it's happening. And so it's easy, like I always say, it's easy to identify setups and identify these different chart. Can't think of the word. These different things on the chart. It's easy to identify these after it's already happened. These setups on the chart. It's easy to identify these after it's already happened. While they're happening is when you need to learn how to identify this so that you can actually hook yourself up and get in the right way and get in when you're supposed to. So if you're interested, email me, ed@tradingperformancespecialist.com, or just message me here on YouTube. I'll get right back to you and answer any questions you have. Also, the information will be in the description of this video. So you guys have a great evening. I'm getting ready to get started here. Futures market just opened. It looks really, really good at this point. Just to get an idea of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it to potentially sell off and retest this 4081. This is actually a daily pivot now. This was the previous high back here, and make another move up. Now, if it tests this and it fails, then I'll be looking to short it using this as resistance. If it pulls back and bounces, I'm going to be using this as support. So we'll see where this thing goes throughout the night, and let's see if we can have some fun making some more money tonight. But you guys have a great rest of the evening, and I will see you